tuned in to the Keetria Show and listening to SOB, Style of Business, the podcast with your host, Keetria. We aim to highlight the ongoing trek of entrepreneurs and business owners from around the globe, featuring stories that recount their struggles, experiences, and inevitable road to success and self-fulfillment. Welcome to SOB.
This episode is supported by the wonderful creators of Gratitude Plus app, the app that helps you cultivate a daily practice of gratitude. What are you grateful for today? You can download the app now at the App Store or by visiting gratitudeplusapp.com/style of business. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another hot episode of SOB, Style of Business, the podcast. This is your host, Keetria, and today I'm speaking with the fantastic dynamic duo. I have NuVysion Media Group on the line with me this evening, and consisting of the director and the producer. I'm speaking to Tamika and Kimlynn Archie out of the Dallas area, and they're going to be visiting with us today talking about their new film series, Behind Closed Doors. So I had a chance to check out the trailer, which is very, 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 very exciting. I'm going to add as many berries as I can. I'm so excited for this team. They're doing some great things in independent film and just making some major moves. So before I give it away, let me go ahead and let them give an introduction, and we will roll right through to the interview. What's up, Kimlynn and also Tamika? How are y'all doing? How's everything going?
Hey, it's going. Why you just gotta drag out my name, Kimlynn?
Because you know what? What I was trying to do, I was trying to just do the Kimlynn, and then I was gonna cut it off, and then I was gonna do the AKA and all of that. I was gonna try to do something real slick for you, but I said no. Let me be formal. Let me just go ahead and do the Kimlynn and all that other good stuff. And we go a while back, or way back. So that's another thing. I was trying to make sure that I was introducing all of it so people could understand. But we'll have time to get into a lot of the background information here in a bit. But definitely, you guys go ahead and drop that interview, Tamika, as well. And let's chop this thing up and let people know what you guys are working on. There's some hot stuff brewing at NuVysion.
Oh, she gonna point it at me this time.
Okay, all right.
So basically what we got going on right now is our brand new, fresh off the press film series called Behind Closed Doors. It's our first series that we put together. We directed, we wrote, we produced, we filmed, we edited, we did everything on this ourselves. And the one thing that makes me proud is because we did it and we have no formal training. So, for it to come out and be as, great of a hit as it is so far, and people haven't even seen it, it's just a blessing,
It's definitely a blessing. Yeah, and I remember talking to Tamika about it earlier, I think last month sometime, and just the amount of coverage that you guys have been able to, get and achieve on your own as an independent team, working and making things happen. That's a feat in itself, just kind of going about it and not waiting for anybody to give you guys the red light. So I definitely want to congratulate you guys on that. And Let's talk about, so first let's start with the background on, for those people who are listening that are not familiar with NuVysion Media, let's start there if you guys want to give an introduction, and then we'll get into like the background of the film series and the whole concept behind why you guys chose to put this project together.
Well, NuVysion Media, it's a small media company that we are dealing with photography, videography, music, we pretty much do it all. It's pretty much a platform to allow actors, actresses, videographers, musicians to be able to be a part of the journey is what our slogan is, and offer them a platform to be bigger than what they have right now. So we're helping them, showcase their talent as well as showcasing our own talent within NuVysion Media.
Exactly. Yeah. And I love that. And we'll definitely talk about the soundtrack, because I know that's been an opportunity for a lot of the independent artists that you guys have been working with. That's been an opportunity for them as well to showcase their, musical talent and to get exposure, in ways that they may have not been able to do before. So that's a good deal. So let's jump into Behind Closed Doors. I know this project is special to you guys, especially for it being, the first project out the gate, no formal training. You guys, Kim, you as the director, Tamika, as as the producer / y'all are doing the promotion, the marketing, all the other stuff. You got the red carpet premiere that's coming up in Dallas later this week. Okay, so let's talk about the whole concept. Why behind? Well, first of all, let me just give people a quick roundabout of what the film series is. It addresses childhood trauma. So I guess what I'm asking is why this particular concept, and tell us how you guys came to develop the script and the content for it.
Well, the reason we developed this, because basically it was supposed to be done for a women's conference last year. And, they wanted to empower women, right? So I came up with the concept for domestic violence and this domestic abuse was, hey, I want to do a little short, film series. Well, excuse me, it was a short film, actually, not a series. It was a film. Yeah. And I wanted to showcase, how the kids, are victims too. Because a lot of times everybody focus on the person that's actually being abused, but they never focus on the kids or how that abuse affects other people.
Yeah.
So, in showcasing the kids, you see how their experience affects them in their adult lives. So that's something we showcase. And then I also wanted to show how, I want people to come to a tolerance or understanding, okay, somebody lashes out at me. At the end of the day, it's not about me. It's something that may have triggered them, that triggered something back that they thought about, and they lashed out at me. So I want people to start building that understanding for people who haven't been through stuff like that. So it's kind of twofold of what I want to bring to the table with behind closed doors.
Yeah, and there's several different angles that you guys, I know you talk about, the verbal abuse, the physical abuse. You talk about those kids that come, that are raised in situations to where the parents are addicted to drugs and in and out of prison. And, there's all different types of abuse. So when you started writing the script, like how did you guys decide on what to include, especially for this being the first part of the project? Like, how did you just make sure that you kind of stick to a couple of focus areas and not do too much at once?
Well, we are focused on a lot at once. Right. We actually cover domestic violence, sexual abuse, sex trafficking, drug addiction, alcoholism. So we actually touch on a lot. Each main character has a traumatic experience as a child. And it's just that in the first season, we probably only touched on just a couple of things. What will end up happening is next season, more stuff will unfold for the characters where you'll see how a lot of the stuff ties into each other. But for us, when we first started kind of really talking about and writing out the script, for me, it was a little easier to write out some of the things because I experienced a lot of those things growing up in my childhood. So I took a lot of my experience, a lot of experience from other people that I know, people that I went through group therapy with, when I was going through with teams that were going through some of the same things, and I was help counseling them. So I took a lot of those experiences and kind of just compiled it into what I needed to convey from the portions that I was writing. And then being with Kimlynn and being married to her and her hearing a lot of my story, it was not as difficult for her to kind of incorporate some of the things as well.
Yeah, and Tamika, just to piggyback off of that, I know you just mentioned that you experienced some of that stuff. Like, was that how difficult, or I guess maybe it wasn't a difficult process for you, but like how comfortable were you in sharing that story, for other people to witness and see what you were going through? Not that they directly knew that was you, but like as far as you kind of taking your story and putting it in the film and making it, your own. How was that for you, that process?
The process really wasn't as difficult because over the years I've learned how to talk about it and it not affect me. I learned early on, going through a lot of my relationships through life, that my past doesn't dictate my present and my future. Yeah. So I was able to talk to people about it because I always felt like that my story, if it could help someone else, then that's what I wanted it to do, is to help someone else, especially if they've gone through what I've gone through and they have not yet surpassed and overcame it. I want to be able to share my story with them where they can see where I'm at now in life.
Yeah, to be like, it reminds me of just kind of, you guys are creating just an additional platform. I know there's a lot of different ways that people express some of the trauma that they've experienced. There's different not focus groups, but there's different support groups rather. There's hotlines, there's seminars and conferences. But the way that you guys are taking this, from an independent standpoint, especially, and I keep saying independent, and I guess it doesn't matter. A filmmaker is a filmmaker, a director is a director. You guys did great work, but just taking it from taking the project and putting it in this context so people can see it on screen. I mean, I definitely feel like this is going to be a conversation piece, and I'm interested to hear what your ideas are as far as kind of taking it to the next level, because right now it's a film, it's a film series. I was telling Kimlynn this the other day, like, hey, I think this will end up being a little bit bigger than what you guys anticipated, just because so many people are excited about what you're sharing. A lot of people, you can't really talk about some of this stuff to people that are close to you because you don't want to be judged or ridiculed or a lot of people are just uncomfortable with discussing things like this. But the way that you presented it in film, I think it's opening up the doors to be another platform.
Yeah. That was the plan. That really and truly, that was the plan. Now, we didn't really expect for it to get this big.
Exactly, yeah.
It was the plan that we wanted to convey something over to the audience, and we hope that they would look at the series and be able to understand where we were going with it and be able to get a self-reflection, validation, whatever it is that they need to gain from it. We're hoping that they understand the story and follow the story as what we were trying to convey to them.
Yeah, that's perfect. And Tamika, I got a bone to pick with you because I was talking to, so I had a quick conversation about after I seen the trailer, and and there was a character in there, and the way that the trailer, it provided me with a little insight on one of the characters that was a little bit shady. She kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I think it was Zoe in the cafe. and I was telling Kim, I said, look, y'all, hey, I'm gonna need her to get herself together, because it's like, a lot of times when we watch those series, like say for instance something on Netflix, and you keep watching, you watch the first episode, the second one, the third one. When I finished that trailer, it was like, hey, you just don't just cut it off. Who is gonna get in her face and get her told? Because that's how it was. You know what I mean? Like, she cut up, and then it was like, all right, that's it. Tune in next time, or, one of those types of feelings. But I'm interested to know, like, the take on, when you are in a creative process and you guys are coming up with, episode 1, hey, this is going to be the end of episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, and all that other stuff. How are you deciding on how much you're going to share before you cut that episode off and then you jump into something else?
We actually had to stop ourselves.
Okay. All right. Okay.
We wanted to put too much, and then we're like, okay. Once we wrote it out, it was like, okay, maybe that's too much. Wait, what's a dramatic end? Okay, this is a dramatic end.
Yeah.
He's on episode 2. and I think it helped because we already had before we wrote it out, we actually would talk about it and we'll talk about the story, right? And so we're like, well, how is this story going to begin and how is the story going to end? Right? And so in saying that, you can say, okay, well, in this part, she's going to do this. In this part, they going to do this. So let's end it with this. And we already knew the last episode was going to have the most dramatic endings ever. And so that's basically what we wanted to leave. We want to leave with cliffhangers. We want people to come back and be like, dang, what happened? I want to see. I need more. So with you seeing that you watched the trailer and it left you wanting more, that's exactly what we were aiming for. So we appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah, well, it got me. I'm telling you, because now I understand why my grandmother was pissed when the Guiding Light or Young and the Restless or, General Hospital, like those episodes would just kind of stop at a certain point, and it's like, okay, I got to tune in tomorrow, before lunchtime to check out what's going on with the stories. But no, you guys did a great job of just, given just enough, the transitioning and all that other good stuff, and which brings me to your cast. I mean, you guys have a pretty good cast. Tell me a little bit about the casting experience and how you guys were able to find such good talent.
Wow. So basically, after developing our characters and we did it backwards, we kind of wrote the story and developed the characters last. Completely backwards. No one generally does that, but we did. And in doing that, we had a conversation and we talked about each character. And we pretty much said, who do we think that would be able to portray that character the way we wanted it to be portrayed? And we was like, this person, let's reach out to them and see if they'll do it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what it boiled down to each character. I mean, even when we came to one character, we was like, who can we cast? And it took us like a couple of days for us to figure it out. And the funny thing is that the person is my friend, but I never thought of her. Stormy went, what about? And she was like, Maria. And I went, yeah, I didn't even think about Maria. She would play that part very well. So it's just kind of, we kind of just really handpicked everybody except really one character. One character, we had someone else in her place, but we ended up getting someone else, and we actually started looking for someone to replace her, and we just so happily got so lucky with China Mitchell, because she's, I call her a more seasoned actress. Yeah. She's more seasoned. She's been in several films. Her mom's an actress, a book writer, a director as well. So we kind of really got really lucky with her, and she's been excellent, and she brings so much to the table, and everybody kind of, when she came, it was almost as though the cast had been working with each other forever already. They all just blended very well with each other. And to piggyback off of Tamika, is when she said we handpicked. Yeah, we pretty much handpicked the cast, and it made it a lot easier because some of the people we already knew. So it wasn't like we wrote it and said, well, who can we find to fit this? Yeah. So basically, we know who can fit this part, and let's write to them. So it made it easier, but I won't say it was easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and speaking of easy, I know there was a couple of moments in the production process when you guys were, well, not production, but I guess it was the filming, more so with the filming, and little hiccups here and there as far as the camera positioning. Right, hiccups to say the least, but yeah, it may have been a little bit more extensive. But I mean, just coming out of the gate with this project, right? You want to do it, you want to film it. You're going into these scenes, setting aside time, you're getting people gathered in these different places, spaces, whatever. I'm tongue twisting and turning right now, y'all. But when you have a crew that's gonna meet you to do the recording or the filming rather, and the camera positioning, or somebody is delayed, like tell me what that's like. Like how is that process when you are planning one thing and then things are happening going in another direction?
Well, it's very irritating. I say this because I'm gonna tell you the irritating part and where it was not, sometimes where it's not so irritating, right? So as far as people, stuff is not going right, and you see how the scene was. You've already talked it out, you blocked it off in your mind, but when you get to the place and nothing happens the way you want it to happen, man, it throws out everybody. I mean, from the director to the filming, to the actors, even the napkins in the building don't even lay right.
Right. Right.
Everything is just thrown off. The energy's not there, and I see why a lot of directors, when that feng shui is not there, they call it out and say, "We're gonna throw it tomorrow," because it's a waste of time, really. When the negative energy is there, it's a waste of time. Now, on the positive side, when stuff don't go the way that you wanted to, if you can suck it up and go ahead and do it, sometimes those are your best shoots.
Oh wow!
I can't say shoots.
Yeah, you can say shoots, shots. How we. Are you getting corrected? Okay.
We get some good footage, because it was unexpected. So since it's unexpected, then, it's going to be more natural.
Yeah, it's more natural. But like how much footage, like when you say, for instance, you're planning a scene and you go in and, things are kind of not disorganized, but you end up with you end up with new footage. Like, how do you decide on, okay, I need to keep this, and this? Because that's a process too, right? Just trying to.
Yeah. Well, we actually decide on it really at the time of editing. Mm. So what happens is a lot of times, which happens to the both of us, where we would go to a shoot to film, and then all of a sudden, the way we think of something else around the spot that wasn't even on the script. Okay. And we turn around and we'll say, hey, let's shoot this and shoot it this way. I need you to do this. And they'll go, what do you want us to say? And then we literally tell them what to say right then. Or we'll say, oh, you don't have to use any words. It's just B-roll footage,
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
We did that quite often. I know I did. I added 2 whole scenes. Not partial scenes, but whole scenes, Whole scenes. That had dialogue. I say, here, instead of doing it this way, do this way. I might transition something a little bit, turn it. Well, we don't have this part, so instead of having this part, we're gonna use this. Something like that. But yeah. Tamika, she put in 2 whole scenes. But it worked out because in the end, when we started going through the editing process and looking, it's like, oh my, someone will say, yeah, this actually looks good. I needed this footage right here. Mm-hmm. Because now, instead of this episode being 15 minutes, now we got a full 20 minutes,
Exactly. Yeah, you need that footage. And I like the fact that it is so well put together and presented. And I'm just, I guess one of the questions that I would have for you, Tamika, and Kimlynn, I ask you here in a minute, but I'm pretty familiar with a lot of your background as far as entertainment and stuff. This is the first project, and I keep saying that because I just can't get over the fact that, and not to say that I didn't expect it to be so well, but I guess the biggest thing is for it to seem like a seamless process for you guys and say, okay, hey, this is the finished project. It took us a while, but we finally got to the point where it's out and we'll get ready for the premiere in the next couple of days. What sort of formal training or lack of formal training, did you have in the past to be able to put this together? Or was there maybe some interest that you've always had in wanting to put together a film and you just decided to put it together this time around?
I've always done event planning for production support at church when they would have plays and things of that nature. I've always helped with props and kind of helping out with the dialogue. In elementary and junior high, I kind of put together skits in school. So I did theater arts in high school. So I've always had some type of piece into I would call the arts, for say, but I haven't never really videoed other than videoing from my phone.
Yeah. Hey, that's training too. That's training too.
And then I've done editing, so photography, because you guys call it Kimlynn. That's her good name.
Right.
Her radio host name was how I met her, Stormy.
Right. We can switch to Stormy. All right.
Stormy. So she did photography. She does photography, and so when she found out that I could actually do some editing as well, then I started helping her with that piece by editing pictures. So and then I have more of I'm a creative side of it. So, we have a small also intimate catering company. And so with that, I do more of the plating because I like color and I like creativity. So I guess that's kind of what I offer into the NuVysion Media company and with the filming. Oh, you forgot one. She can sell anything right now. She can sell the
Oh my God! Hey.
She gonna pub it up, and before she even see it, it's pubbed up and it's out there. It's gonna be, it's gonna be the greatest show on earth.
Hey, you can't beat that.
No, you need those type of people in your corner, you got that. So.
You need those type of people, but I know who to call if I need somebody to set the anticipation and, get rally the troops and do it 150%. I mean, I would definitely do that. And let's switch over, and I'm gonna switch it over, okay? Because we just mentioned the radio name, right? So everybody knows that Kimlynn is also AKA Stormy. So I'm speaking to Stormy now. We're gonna put Kimlynn on the back burner. Yeah, so let's talk about your right. I'm gonna put you on the spot. So you're doing film. Give me a bit about your background as far as leading up to getting into the actual directing role.
Well, I've always considered myself a leader.
Oh, okay, wow. Right.
Seriously, I started writing when I was a child. I think I started writing around teenage years, and I did my first play for the church.
Yeah.
It was called The Bus Stop. And so in doing that, I've always been interested in doing it. I write poetry. I dibble and dabble in, doing shows and putting shows together and everything. Tamika like to call me Joe Jackson because I want it perfect. So, I've always did that. And so as far as directing, this is something, you have a vision. And do I think everybody can direct? Yes. Do I think everybody can direct effectively? No.
Yeah.
No. Because you have to have the trust of your cast and the people that are helping you create this vision. And if you don't have that, then you might as well just shoot everything yourself and be in it yourself, direct all that. So
right.
Even though I said we shot everything and did most of the stuff ourselves, I embellished a little bit, but we did most of it because we did have help. We had one of the cast members, Mr. He helped shoot some of the video. When he wasn't in the film, he helped shoot.
Yeah.
We have another cast member that offered his place of business for us to use. So we had help, and people see the vision and they want to help, and that's the best feeling ever. I just like the fact that everybody wants to chip in and help this vision, come to fruition.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And I can't stop saying enough how much I love what you guys are doing, and just that whole team. I mean, the whole vibe of the team and the people that are involved, everything just seems to be flowing together so well. But before we wrap up here, I want to get into, you guys, you went out on a limb. Like, I know Tamika is a big part of this premiere that's happening, the next couple of days. Exactly. And by the time this airs, which will probably likely be next week, the event will have happened. But tell us a little bit about the premiere and the red carpet that you guys are planning in Dallas.
Well, the red carpet premiere is on Friday, November 15th. And basically, for me, my vision was that, first off, our cast members were amazing. They drove from location to location with no hesitation. And when I say from location to location, I mean literally from city to city. It was not filmed in one spot, and they lived in various different locations. And they were unpaid actors and actresses. And even though, we supply little hors d'oeuvres and things of that nature for them, I wanted to do something big for them to show them how much NuVysion Media appreciated them and their support with this series. So even though we didn't pay them $1 million, I wanted them to feel like $1 million. Yeah. So the best way that I could make them feel like $1 million is to put my event planning into place. So we're going to have an actual red carpet. We're going to have barricades set up because we're going to have lights. There's going to be paparazzi that we got to be there to take pictures of them coming up the red carpet. Then once they hit the front door and come in, then they're going to hit another part of the red carpet. They're going to go through 2 news media interviews. We're going to have hors d'oeuvres. We're going to have open bar. We're going to have one of the hottest DJs in town that's going to be DJing. We're going to have 2 of the entertainers that is on our soundtrack. they will be performing live, and then we're going to have a huge after party afterwards. So I wanted them to have the experience of a lifetime. And then I do have a little treat for them when they arrive. I'm going to tell everybody, because then they'll know.
Yeah, right.
But I have a surprise with the cast when they actually arrive. So I wanted them to feel like the stars that they are. Even our main cast members, we rented a limo for them to pull up at the red carpet.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's big. That's big. I know that they'll certainly appreciate and remember that. And you know, for this to be the first season that, you know, debut, you guys have already been picked up by a network. So yeah, so tell us about that, because I definitely don't want to leave that out.
Yes, so we were picked up by the ON channel, which is it's TheON channel. It's a streaming network channel that's similar to like Netflix, Hulu, all that. You can actually stream it on Roku, Apple TV, Fire Stick, any streaming platform. And when you stream, it's only $2.99 a month or $29.99 a year. And if everybody go ahead and register, you know, they can get a chance to win at Amazon Fire Stick. When they actually emailed us, I looked around like, is this real?
Exactly, yeah.
I know I pitched it to him. And that's the crazy thing is I pitched it to him. He loved the idea. He loved the concept. And he was just waiting for the pilot. We sent him over to truly a rough copy. Truly a rough, but he watched it on his Fire Stick, and he said that it looked amazing on the TV. He understood it was a rough copy. There's still some things that we need to tweak about it. And then they said it was like a couple of days later, he sends an email with the logo and telling us all different. I was just like, wait, hold on, what just happened?
Right. Exactly, yeah.
You know, so I mean, when I say a true blessing, it is truly a blessing, because really the first thing we thought about when putting this out was YouTube.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was going to be a YouTube series, and someone said, "Why do YouTube? You should think about something." And we were like, "Okay." And all I did was go search, you know, because I'm a true graduate of Google University. My Google finger is on point. I just want to let you know.
Oh, goodness.
And I got the information, the email address, and I just sent them an email and went from there.
And mind you, Keetria, this was done before we even started shooting.
She started early, right? She got on a good foot real early.
We had not started. We had not had our script reading yet.
Well, hey, she was just prepared. I mean, she went ahead and did what she already knew she was going to do anyway. So hey, script ready or not, pilot ready or not, Tamika went ahead and did what needed to be done, right?
I didn't think I was gonna get a response so fast.
Exactly. Well, but you've been doing a lot of that though, like a lot of the outreach. I mean, you guys just finished like a 30-day podcast tour, which I was like every time I look up, it's like, oh, they Facebook Live again. You know, here they go, another podcast. I mean, you guys are all out of state, you know, doing different shows and podcasts. So I'm like, goodness, that's crazy.
Yeah, I felt like we were going there, and it was so funny because we were going there in Arizona for Stormy's birthday to visit her sister, and we were going to be there a whole week.
Yeah.
And I was like, and her sister was going to be working like a couple of those days, so my mind was, well, hey, you know, we're going out there, we might as well go ahead and work a little. So I said, I can't even rest, man.
Oh, wow.
I told her she'll rest when she dies.
Yeah. You're right. Hey,
it's about the grind right now. And the way I see it is, you know, I am a little, you know, happy and proud slightly of myself, because I feel like that if I had not the push or the drive that I had then, but I don't know where the series would have been right now. Yeah. So we kind of kind of that yin and yang type situation. So when she feels like she wants to go lay down, I push her and push her.
I'm sure Stormy appreciates that.
Stormy like to get her sleep.
Right.
I push her, and then when I feel like I'm pushing her a little too far.
Yeah.
Where I know she's tired, then I take over and I've done some editing of a couple of the episodes to kind of help her out a great deal, because she's done a truly amazing job, and I can't wait till everybody actually sees the series and see how she actually used her editing skills to convey over the story, because anyone can shoot anything.
Yeah.
But what really brings the story together is how you edit it for the viewers to be able to actually feel what it is that you want to convey.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I'm definitely going to have you guys back at the top of 2020 to talk about the developments of what's transpiring after this first series debuts, because we'll never get through it in this one conversation. Like, there's literally so much. But before we end this, there's a couple of last things I want to ask. Both of you guys, for the people that are listening, aspiring filmmakers, directors, anybody who is interested in putting together a film, I need some words of advice or encouragement to leave, for you to leave them, rather.
Well, for me, what I would tell them is, hey, don't wait for, Ron Howard or Tyler Perry to come and give you $1 million to make a movie. Go out there and do it yourself, And yes, I'm gonna tell you, the first one you see, you be like, oh, it's good. And then as you start building your portfolio, you'll look at that first one and be like, dang, that is horrible. But you see the growth, right? Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, you've done it yourself. You did it. You did something somebody else said they was gonna do and never did. So get out there, get you a camera. You ain't gotta have an expensive camera, because we didn't. I had a T6. Canon T6. It's a pretty good camera, but in the movie thing, it'd be a point and shoot,
Right.
But you get out there and you do it, and you do what you love, and you put your heart in behind it. Once you put your heart in, people gonna love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Don't do it for the money. Do it for, hey, I gotta either have a voice, or I just want to put something out.
Love
That's
that.
my advice.
Love that. What about you, Tamika?
The only thing the advice that I would provide is that, if you have a story to tell, don't wait for someone to tell it for you. If you want to put it out there, whether it's via film, whether it's via book, audio, just do it. If you don't really, a lot of people think that you need a lot of money, and I had a gentleman ask me about that, and I told him that, we had to scale back a few things, but for the most part, if you get with your local businesses, you can pretty much, get them to support you. If you have the right story, you have the right support system behind you, you can pretty much do anything that you stick your mind to. All you have to do is just sit down, do it, and stick with it. Mm-hmm. Don't start it and then go, and then push it away, because you'll never pick it back up. But if you continue grinding and pushing, then you will actually prosper in whatever it is. And don't allow anyone to tell you otherwise. Don't allow anyone to stop you from what it is that you're wanting to accomplish and achieve.
Wow. You guys keep on preaching the good news, because that was definitely news that we could use. All right. Guys, before we wrap up, we have NuVysion Media Group again taking the time to talk to us about their film series, Behind Closed Doors, Mrs. Tamika and Kimlynn, a.k.a. Stormy Archie. Please leave us with where we can find you guys online, social media handles. Also, there's the album, the official album, Behind Closed Doors album. Please let us know where we can purchase that. And just any other information you want to give as far as anybody that wants to connect or reach out to you guys.
You can reach us at NuVysion Media Group on Facebook, and that's NuVysion Media Group. We're also NuVysion Media Group on Twitter, Instagram. If you want to email us, we're NuVysionMediaGroup@gmail.com. Also, you can join our group, the Behind Closed Doors group. We do have several members, and we post everything about the series, upcoming about the series. Also, our soundtrack is Behind Closed Doors. And when you do the search for it, it's Behind Closed Doors Various Artists. We are on Spotify. We're on Apple Music. We're on YouTube Music. But you can also purchase the CD at cdbabystore.com. And it's Behind Closed Doors Various Artists. We have 11 tracks on there. We have amazing artists going from pop to R&B to gospel to even some jazz. So we left no stone unturned.
And if you don't want to go to CD Baby, you can always go to the NuVysion page or Behind Closed Doors. Click on the link and it'll take you straight to the CD and you can purchase it.
All right, perfect. NuVysion Media Group. Thank you guys so much for joining, and definitely looking forward to all the wonderful things you guys got coming up for 2020. We look forward to having you back soon.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with us here on SOB. We hope this episode has been resourceful. If you'd like to check out the latest articles or follow Keetria's website updates, just log on to Keetria.com or follow her on Twitter at KEETRIA.